Hi, I'm Paul.
And I'm Hannah.
And this week we're talking about sex.
Am I? I don't know what it is.
What can condoms protect you against?
So condoms can protect you against pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections. The most common at the moment is chlamydia. A condom will protect you against that.
And you can use them for both vaginal and anal sex. And
Yeah.
even oral sex.
Yeah.
You can actually get condoms for free.
You can get them from your GP, sexual health clinics, walk-in centres, different sexual health charities as well, like Brook. For most contraceptives, you just make an appointment with your GP and you just talk through what your preferences are in terms of like if you want something daily or monthly or like however long you want it to last and your preference on where in your body you want it. And also a lot of people don't necessarily gel with the first contraception that they pick. They tend to say leave it 3 months for it to regulate, but if you're still not happy with it after 3 months, then you can go back to your GP and change the contraception.
But I think it's important to remember that GPs talk about this stuff all the time, don't they?
They've seen everything.
They really have. So don't worry, it's perfectly normal to go to your GP and talk about this kind of stuff. A lot of people may imagine that the first time they have sex, it's going to be this amazing thing, this lightning bolt from the sky happens, and
super romantic
exactly, rainbows and unicorns
and you're going to be
everywhere.
an entirely different person afterwards.
Exactly, but that's not often the case. You've got to remember the first time you're doing it, you're not really going to be sure how it's working. You're not going to know your partner's body that well. They're not going to know your body that well.
Especially if it's both of your first times.
Exactly.
It's going to be a bit of a rough and tumble.
A rough and tumble fumble, I think is the word. So it might not be amazing, but that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's about just communicating that the whole way through. And also, sex can be amazing, sex can be awkward, but ultimately if you're with someone and you have a good relationship with them, if it is slightly awkward or it's not like the best sex ever, then you can laugh about it. And I think that's one thing that isn't shown in the movies at all of these romantic sex scenes. Yeah, sometimes you might fart during sex. Yeah, you might feel like horribly embarrassed by that, but ultimately you want to be able to laugh it off with your partner.
Another thing though is it might be painful. Just always communicate with your partner if that's happening.
Yeah, just take it slow and you can always use lubrication.
So what do you mean by lubrication?
So you can get little pots or little bottles of lube and always use a water-based lube or a silicone-based lube because there are also videos of this on YouTube. If you get an oil-based one, like Vaseline, and you rub it on a condom, that condom will pop. Okay. So you do not want to use an oil-based lube. Okay. Yeah.
What would you do, for example, if your partner said, oh, I don't want to wear a condom, I think sex is better without a condom? How would you respond to that? I
personally would argue with them about it. I would put up a fight, I think. There are loads of condoms out there, like condom technology has changed so much and there are so many like really thin condoms out there, also latex-free ones if you're allergic to latex. And I think it's just about like that respect and not everybody who has a vagina wants to go on hormonal contraception, and so because that's their body and that's their choice. So condom would then be the only option in order to prevent pregnancy, and then it's the only way to stop transmitting STIs as well. I will say though, a lot of couples who are in like long-term relationships and are very committed to each other don't use condoms, but I would say that's only okay if you're also on other kind of contraception to stop you getting pregnant and you both had full STI screenings before you stopped using condoms.
And I guess in a gay relationship, obviously it wouldn't be about pregnancy, but it would be about protecting yourself from STIs.
Yeah, and also if you are in a gay relationship, pregnancy isn't the thing that you're necessarily thinking about. It's more about the transmission of STIs. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this, but lesbians can also get STIs. And because some STIs are transmitted just through genital contact or oral sex.
And of course, if you are worried about anything to do with sex or contraception, you can always talk to Childline. Thanks so much for coming to see us, Hannah.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.